channel. Hey, you know what time it is?
What time is it, man?
Hey everybody, welcome to another episode of The Beatdown, the segment where two worlds collide. I'm your host, Class. This is my co-host,
Mr. J. And guys, we would like to remind you that if you enjoy these videos or our content, go in the section below, like, comment, and subscribe, and share.
Yeah. And without further ado, today's episode, we decided we're going to change things up a little bit. We're going to take it to another realm. And this time we're doing action movies. Now, we decided we wanted to do something very special because there are two great action characters that don't get the credit they deserve as much times. So, let's, one character I would say, yeah, but the other character only got one shot at a movie. So, let's just throw that out there. All right. And I'll be representing Predators franchise, Dutch.
Yeah. Stick around.
Now, Dutch is Arnold Schwarzenegger. If you don't remember, I think it was the 1987's Predator movie.
Most people don't remember. You gotta remember.
Yeah, exactly. That's why, I just knew that people were going to be confused. But the first Predator, you forget, Arnold Schwarzenegger took that guy down. Now, I'm just going to start off with my argument by saying, let me just start off with the basics. So, Arnold Schwarzenegger was the leader of a small platoon of men who were just taking down a couple, bad guys in the jungle. And then out of nowhere, these guys get hunted down by some crazy thing up in the trees. And it turns out to be an alien from another world. Now, nobody was prepared for this. So every guy that got in this battle died, except one. And that would be Arnold Schwarzenegger's character, Dutch, who hands out he's the leader, and hands out shows why he was the last to survive. I'm just going to start off with, he beat an alien, okay? This alien was taller than him, stronger than him, he had more advanced weaponry than him, and he beat him, okay? I don't even know how much of an argument I need to go. That's it, I'm just going to start with that. That's it, end it with that. That's it. That's all I need to say. I'm just kidding. But what I'm saying is, Predator is a very formidable foe, and he had him like way more advanced in the fighting field, and yet Arnold managed to beat him using basic old school traps and everything like that. Let's talk about the fact that how incredibly strong Dutch is. Okay, Dutch was so strong he lifted a giant-sized log by himself. Okay, this thing managed to crush Predator. But just imagine how much strength it must take to lift something that huge. It was huge, okay? To be big enough to smash an alien that huge and then be able to you have to be like 5 guys to carry that thing. You got to be at least 6 or 10 guys to lift it yourself. Arnold, and one scene of the movie, he lifts up a car and just drops it. He's just like, that's it, just for fun. So I want to say that with Dutch, he's got this incredible strength in him to actually outmatch anybody. So hand to hand, let's say these guys meet up in the jungle. Dutch has his weapons, I have to say Dutch has this in the wind. He has a rocket launcher for a gun or a cannon. He has one of those rocket launcher cannons on his gun. He has an automatic weapon.
He has a grenade launcher.
Grenade launcher, there you go. And that thing... Yeah, and that thing blows up. He has grenades himself. He has a giant size, just like Rambo, he has a giant size knife. But check this out. Arnold's character, Dutch, can throw a knife and kill a man instantaneously. Whoop! He just threw it one. Bam! I mean, corny line aside, stick around. It was hands down the most badass thing I've ever seen. Another thing is that he was able to counter or dodge someone who was sneaking behind him with a gun. Okay, somebody who had the upper advantage clearly in that moment to put a bullet in his brain or anything if he needed to for any movement. Dutch managed to dodge that person. So plus his impressive, like as far as trap wise, they both are equally matched. So if they take enough time with each other, they're going to be able to find a strategy to set each other up. But the thing is that they're both they're soldiers, so they're very alert to know when there's a trap being made. If they get even one trap from one another and they manage to see it coming, they're going to recognize there's more traps around. So they're going to be more aware. So that's not really going to be an element in this fight. But yeah, as far as
the surprise attacks, it's going to be hard to pull off.
Yeah, because Arnold was able to camouflage himself with mud in order to hide from an advanced species. Rambo was able to hide in a forest using only like whatever he could find. Like they're both equally able to be stealthy if they need to. But thing about that is stealthy.
They're both extremely adept and very well at thinking on their feet, going on the run, and using their environment and whatever they have at their disposal.
Yeah, exactly. And so they both equally have that match. So if this comes down to it, it's going to be a mano a mano one-on-one fight. Trap wise, they're not going to be able to take each other. Stealth wise, I don't think it's going to be anywhere. So hand-to-hand fight, I have to say that both have equally the same skill set, I would say. So the only difference is that Arnold has the muscle to back him up. So as being Dutch and being the extra strength and being able to be the last survivor against an alien species that was more advanced than he was, I have to say that Dutch could outpower Rambo, break an arm or something if he needs to, and then just go to work on Rambo just with his bare fists, and then that'd be the end of the game.
Knock, knock.
Okay. Well, my contestant today is John Rambo from the Rambo films. Now, most of us already, we've seen the movies. You know what Rambo can do. You know the background. I believe he's a former Green Beret or something like that.
Yep,
He was in
Green
the
Beret.
Army, I believe.
You got a Purple Heart?
Mm-hmm. Then some local cops was messing with him, and they just like, if you really look back at that movie, I'm not saying it was bad, but the plot might have, they might have wanted to think about it a little more. But then again, a lot of 80s action movies, there wasn't really plot driven. It's just like, just give him a gun. Just have him shoot something. Anyway, going off track. Like he said, Rambo was able to hide in the forest from multiple sheriffs. He was able to shoot a guy down from a chopper while he was like on the ground. Wasn't he? Wait.
Yeah. He was on a cliff, and then he winded up on the ground. Yeah. So he was on a cliff first, getting shot at by a sniper rifle, and then all of a sudden he takes a leap of faith, jumps off that cliff, winds up hitting himself on a tree, and then when he gets, he hides behind a tree while he's getting shot at, and manages to survive by hitting the guy with a rock. Okay, he hits the rock with the helicopter's windshield or whatever.
Did he even have a gun?
No, he didn't even have a gun, bro. He didn't even have his knife, nothing. He wasn't able to jump into the helicopter. He had to use a rock.
He knocked a sniper out of a helicopter with a rock.
Yeah, that's gangster.
Yeah, I'll give him that.
That's the upper advantage. He had the distance, he had the range, he had the helicopter in his corner, he had everything.
Rambo basically took over a small town. That's basically how the first movie ends. He's held up it's in a gun store, isn't it? At the end, and the sheriffs just have him cornered. And then the military.
Oh no, he's in the sheriff's place. He's in the police department. He's in their yard. Right. Yeah, he's in their yard with shooting all this weapons.
I could try to go over and try to counter, what he says and all this, but pretty much like he says, they're both militant, they're both very good soldiers, they're both extremely skilled and very good at what they do. So I feel like the trap thing is gonna be difficult to pull off in this sense. Like he said, Dutch was able to hide and camouflage himself from an advanced alien. So I'm not sure exactly how well Rambo could do against him as far as stealth. And like he said also, I believe that they're both just going to pick up the signal. Be like, okay, there's a trap here. Obviously, he's around here somewhere. So they can try to, stealth or hide themselves from one another, but eventually it's just going to come out to a brawl. I do believe Dutch would probably be a little stronger, but I think Rambo is going to be a little bit faster. This might be a bad example and a bad time to bring this up, but if y'all have seen Rocky, Sylvester's got some fast hands, man. So if he can just kind of dodge and hit and not get hit, it'll definitely have to be up close. You know, I'll have to hit him a lot with a lot of body shots and keep him away with the jab. But it can work. It can work.
I mean, he could use the Rambo knife too. I didn't even think about that. Like,
I was thinking up close. You know, maybe he could turn it into a knife fight.
I think he has the advantage on that.
I think he'd be a little bit faster, and if you're a little bit faster with the knife, you know, he can just kind of cut him in little vital spots as he goes along, the leg, the wrist, you know,
go for the veins. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. And as he starts to lose blood, he goes down, you know, Rambo will just finish him. And then their weapons are pretty well matched. The difference is, I think Rambo would be a little bit better with the bow and arrow. Arnold's was kind of like handmade and makeshift. You know, Rambo's is like, it's sturdy.
Like he perfected it, yeah.
Mm-hmm. So, long shot, you know, he could take him out with the bow and arrow. If it doesn't come to that, I'd say he'd have to bring it up close and turn it into a knife fight and use his speed and his agility. And yeah, from there, I would say Rambo for the win. Going back into the stealth, I think they're pretty. It's stalemate, but also a lot of their weapons. There's not. I want to say there's not anything special about their weapons. They're just kind of regular military grade weapons. Yes, extremely powerful and fast, but you know, regular nonetheless. So, use his speed, agility, and use the knife. Get up and close. If he has to do it from far away, use the bow and arrow. And that's how I think Rambo can pull this off.
Okay. Yeah, I agree with that. Like, it makes a lot of sense considering the fact, and on a tolerance pain level, Rambo has dealt with much more pain. He's suffered. He's been tortured. So the guy can take a beating. So even if he was in one of those fights where he's going against a bigger guy, all he needs to do is time his moment, take the guy, cut some open tendons, whatever he can, let him bleed out, and then work his way to killing him, just stab him, whatever. You know, the basic thing he needs to do. But that being said, it's not up to me. It's not up to mine. Yeah, it's up to you guys. So if you guys liked my argument, you know what you could do? You can hashtag Dutch, I guess.
Predator?
Dutch Predator? I guess. Just Dutch Predator? I don't know.
I would say Dutch.
Yeah, let's go with Dutch. Hashtag Dutch, yeah. I guess. That's what our hashtag 1987's Predator. That's a lot mouthful. All right, and if you like my boy's argument, you know what you can do?
Hashtag Rambo.
See, that one's easier. And as always, No Press Fan, we really appreciate you guys. Catch you guys later.